Hi everybody, and the problem we're looking at today is this NEFF dishwasher, which is basically dead. It won't power up. It was powered on and working, and then all of a sudden it stopped working just as it was about to empty, and it's not doing anything at all. So as you would expect, it has an isolator switch here that switches it on and off with a fuse next to it. So the first thing to check, and the most obvious thing to check, is the fuse in that isolator switch there. So you pop the fuse out, test the fuse, which I've already done. I was one of them things where you kind of hope it's just the fuse, but no, taking the fuse out, tested the fuse, and the fuse is fine. The fuse works. So it's not the fuse basically, but we're not getting any power to the dishwasher at all. So let's have a look into this issue and see what we can find. So we know it's not the fuse. It could be anything on the dishwasher. Obviously it's a static item, so it's unlikely to be the cable unless something's got damaged at the back, because it's not being pulled in and out or anything like that. So I don't know what the problem is. We've got a power on off switch here, as you can see there. So I don't know if that's actually 240 volt or not. I would have to have a look at it. I need to slide it forward and bring it out and see what the problem is with this particular dishwasher. So everybody, I've just pulled the kickboard off from underneath the unit so I can access underneath the dishwasher, just to check something underneath before I pull it out, because pulling it out is going to be a bit of a job. So I've got my trusted volt stick here. Now some people don't like these, but if we just do a test around the cable, one thing I'm noticing when I'm doing this is it's not beeping, which kind of indicates that it's not actually getting any power to it, which is very odd. So yeah, the next thing to do is let's reinvestigate that isolator switch at the top. It does just flash. You may notice it's flashing red. It does flash to indicate it's on, but it should actually be beeping away. It should, but it's not. So that to me indicates that there's no power getting to the dishwasher at all down the cable. So we will need to pull the fuse connection unit apart, and let's have a look at that. So there we have the fuse connection unit, and I'm just going to show you. I'm just going to turn this socket on next to it, which is a kettle, and just to show you, there you go, we can see it's live. So we assume that that taps from that, or that taps from that. We obviously don't get anything around here when we move the volt stick, which is expected. We need to just drop this forwards and let's have a look what we can see behind that. So just a bit of a disclaimer about this: don't do this if you don't know what you're doing, etc, etc, etc. Obviously I do electrical work and things like that, so I do first time I've ever been in this one, so this is a new job to me, so I don't know what we're going to see behind here. Somebody's put very long screws in here, probably much longer than you actually need. Look at that. Wow. Maybe it's sunk back. Maybe the box has sunk back. And that's why it needs long screws. We shall see. Everything in here feels very tight. Yeah, the box has sunk back a bit. So as you can see, I put my thing in there, my magic wand, and it beeps away. So that's a good sign in a way. It means that bit's working. Right, so the actual output on this is the input is at the top and the output is at the bottom. We have a red cable at the bottom, which when we do that, it powers up. So that means that the switch fuse spur is working and we're getting power to the back of the dishwasher. Now, one thing I've just noticed about this, it's normal twin and earth on the output here, which probably means that this goes down to maybe a socket, a normal plug socket behind the dishwasher. And that's why there's a twin and earth cable. So that's good, I'm happy that socket's working. So yeah, we'll investigate. We're going to have to pull the dishwasher out and have a look behind that. And as I say, I suspect it's going to go to a plug and socket, and if it does, it's fingers crossed that it's going to be the fuse that's gone in that plug at the back. But as ever with these jobs, we shall see. So I won't show you me putting that back together, but I'm going to put that back together now. So I want to share this massive tip with you. So I've removed the kickboard, and the problem I'm facing is that the dishwasher is in very tight. It's not screwed in or anything, but it's in very tight. And because the level of the floor drops below there, you can see it's like a tiled floor, and then it drops down about probably 1.5 inches. And the dishwasher has these black plastic feet on, and obviously it's sitting on them. There's one there and there's one that side as well, and it's sitting on them. So there's no way I could actually slide it forward. So what I've actually done is, you can just about see it there, I've slid a piece of wood under the middle. So I've just managed to get it under and then turn it round the right way, so the dishwasher's actually sitting on it in the middle and balancing. Now these feet here, once you actually lift the dishwasher up slightly, so what I've done is I've put a hammer underneath and I've just lifted it like that a little bit. And then what you can do with those black feet that I'm showing you there, you can actually turn them and wind them up or down. So I'm turning them and wound them up back into the dishwasher. You can see that side, you can't see very well that side because the light's not on it. But yeah, I've wound them up. So they basically just level with the floor now. So I've wound them up about 1.5 inches. And what I'll be able to do now is I'll be able to lift the dishwasher out. So just wanted to share that massive tip with you, because I have come across this before. When things are mounted like this, obviously the floor's been tiled, and then this bit underneath where the dishwasher is, underneath the cupboards, hasn't been tiled, so the level is a lot different, and it's a massive drop there. It's like 1.5 inches. The little wires that you can see, they go to lights on the kickboard, the LED lights. So that's what the wires are, in case anybody's going to ask what wires. There are loads of wires on there. They're low voltage wires. They go to the kickboard LED lights. So yeah, you just wind those black things up and down. As long as you've got a little bit of room to maneuver, you can move them up and down. So I just wanted to share that massive tip with you, because I have come across that before. So let me carry on and just try and slide the dishwasher forwards now. So I've pulled the dishwasher forwards. Just wanted to show you what I'm faced with at the back. Yeah. I can, the actual fuse unit there has blown, by the looks of it, at the back of the dishwasher. Yes, that's where that's sitting against there. And it's blown. Now that looks like it's proper blown. It's gone black. Personally, I'm not a fan of having... Sorry, my light's just died on my phone. My battery's gone low, going low. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of having an extra separate switch below a separate fuse connection unit, but yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, let me just sort this phone out a second so we can get a bit more light. Right, it is just my luck that my phone decides to almost die as I'm just showing you this, but yeah, that's what's happened there. And obviously it's blown a bit into the back of the protective back of the dishwasher there. Now hopefully this back panel's okay. It doesn't look like it's gone through. It's made a bit of a mess of that socket. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go behind there now and have a look at that socket and see what we can do with that. So I've just got the fuse out of the dishwasher, the one that's shot out of the wall, and it buzzes away. Okay, so the plot thickens. The fuse that shot out is actually okay. But we know no power was getting down that white cable because we tested it. So just out of curiosity, I'm going to put that fuse back in there and see what happens. Just going to see if we get power to the dishwasher. If we do, I can look at replacing that fuse connection unit for a different one. But yeah, let's just stick the fuse back in and see what happens. Right, so I've popped the fuse back in there and I've turned it on. Obviously the bit at the isolator at the top is off still, but yeah, that is plugged in and switched on. So there's our isolator at the top. Turn it on and on comes the dishwasher. It's doing something. It's finishing its cycle. Brilliant. It actually remembered that it was in the middle of a cycle, so I think what we'll do, we'll let it finish its cycle. and then we shall replace the fuse spur. It's obviously popped out for some reason, but there you go, it is actually making a noise and doing something now. So yeah, so the problem appears to have been on this particular fault, not a fault with the dishwasher, but a fault with the socket at the back. Now the problem with these is, and I'll explain this to you now, just in case you're not aware, when they put these in, so what they do, they put these fuse spurs at the top there, so you can easily isolate the dishwasher in case you need to do anything. And then underneath here you get a variation of things. Sometimes you'll have an actual plug and a socket. Sometimes you'll have a fused spur, another fused spur like this, which is exactly the same as what we've got up there, except for this has got a little light on it. Or sometimes you'll have just a fused spur with a fuse in it and no switch and no light. I'm going to replace this, get this replaced with just one without the switch, because I don't want the switch. I want the fuse, but I don't want the switch. So yeah, I'll get that replaced, and the problem is resolved. So yeah, just wanted to share that with you, in case you ever come across this problem before, where you get a dead dishwasher. Or I mean, the same thing could happen with any inbuilt appliance, so I'm not just talking about dishwashers. This could happen with a washing machine, it could happen with a fridge, it could happen with a fridge freezer, it could happen with similar things with ovens, but a little bit different, they're wired differently. But yeah, appliances that are inbuilt, tumble dryers, whatever, anything like this that's inbuilt into the fixings, you know, in the cupboards and things like that. Sometimes these things are screwed in as well. The dishwasher could have been screwed in to the cupboard unit fixed in, but normally they're not. They're just in very tight, and yeah, you have to play around with them to get them out. They're a bit of a jiggle job to get out, if you know what I mean. They're very awkward to get out. But yeah, there's the problem with this. No, it doesn't seem like there's a fault at all with the dishwasher. Luckily, the hole it made in the back there hasn't gone through. It's just gone on this like plastic coating at the back. It's probably because it sits back very tight. One of the reasons that where I actually want to make this more of a flush socket without the switch on there, so it hasn't got that bit sticking out. So yeah, thanks for watching another video from Duncan's how-to guides and repair tips. If you've got any questions about this, do let me know. Obviously, do not attempt to do this if you're not qualified to do so. That is the disclaimer that everybody on these type of videos should put. Obviously, I know what I've been doing. I've been doing this kind of work for many years. I still do not trust anything that anybody has done, so that's why when I wire anything up, or you look at the wiring or anything like that, you know, you're always a bit cautious. You're always a bit careful. Even if I did this, you know, let's say I did this 5 years ago, I didn't, but let's say I did, I wouldn't remember how I wired it. I wouldn't remember, you know, anything about the job possibly, but you know, I might think, well, I did a good job, but you don't know if anybody else has changed it or done anything with it, or a wire's come loose. Even though you do the best job you can, when you're on a site all the time, you know, things can still happen. But there you go. Thanks for watching the video, folks. The dishwasher's chugging away in the background, as you can hear. I'll post another video up soon. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak soon. So that fused spur there has been replaced with a flush mount one that sits flush on the wall and doesn't have any switches or anything sticking out because it is a bit tight behind there. So now we can connect that back up and give it a final test.